Hi everyone, I'm Krylios, Team Rayceen Productions MC and producer. And today joining me is DC Council at Large candidate Rick Murphree. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me today. I really appreciate it.
It's wonderful having you here today. Tell me, how are you personally handling the pandemic that's going on right now?
Oh, trying to stay healthy by following the rules that are put in place, and trying to keep family, loved ones healthy. At the same time, as try to stay sane at
Yes.
the same time and healthy fitness wise as well.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And what about your campaign? How have you guys adapted to what's going on? How has
Well,
things changed actually in the campaign?
yeah, big change. This is definitely no matter which election you're looking at, presidential on down. It's a different campaign cycle. I mean, it's taken some creativity, which comes with city council too. You had to take some creativity to work across the table, right?
Yes.
And so it takes creativity. It's still reaching out to people, going door to door, but doing it electronically, and making connections and building relationships. Still doing the same thing, but just doing it with different devices.
Awesome, awesome. And for audience out there, I'm sure they would want to know what your top three issues are that you are running on. So go ahead and expound on that for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you don't mind, Krylios, do you mind if I just give me a little background about myself?
Sure, let's do
Um,
that.
Fantastic. All right. So again, Krylios, I appreciate you guys inviting me on here today, the time and the effort you guys put into this. So I hope that we can continue with these interviews and look forward for any other conversations in the future. So I'm Rick Murphree. I'm a veteran, educator, small business owner, neighbor, father, and Washingtonian, all of the above, and probably some other things depending on who you ask. I spent 11 years in the Army and the last 17 years in post-secondary education, serving as a professor and president. I've owned and operated 3 small businesses, 2 cafes, and I actually owned Cold Stone's ice cream. Yes, I
Love
would not, if
that.
you're losing weight, I would not suggest that. Yes. I'm running for the at-large seat to expand on my work that I'm currently volunteering by serving the community through food service,
Mhm.
delivering food out to communities that are have food insecurities and seniors and different communities around the city. I'm running to help unite the city and bring us all together at the same table. I want to bring transparency and accountability to the government, which is an oxymoron, I think, in so many ways, and make the district work for Washingtonians who have invested so much in this city. The city owes a huge debt to so many families and communities that we have yet to repay. And we have so many communities in the city that the system just doesn't equally work for. You know,
Yeah.
you've got the youth, you've got LGBTQ, you've got small business owners, Black and brown communities, immigrant communities, veteran communities, reentry population, and so many more other communities that this is just not working for all of them. So with, 3 decades of, service in the Army, serving as a college professor and administrator, as a small business owner and businessman, I have what it takes to take this fight and deliver the results to DC and the residents.
Oh, lovely, lovely. I like hearing that. So tell me, what is it about Rick Murphree that distinguishes him from every other candidate that will be running
Yeah.
for that at-large seat?
Yeah, so I'm a doer.
Yeah.
My career has been doing for 30 years. I do in my positions, leadership positions. I use collaborative leadership. I know how to bring people to the table, but not just to have conversations. I know how to bring people to the table to get things moved forward.
Mm.
And I think that's what distinguishes me. I've been a doer for 30 years. I have a track record of doing for 30 years. I don't count on the people around me to see what my friends have done or my family's done. This is what I have done.
Yeah.
And that's what I will bring to the city council is that experience.
Oh, wonderful. Now let's switch gears and look a bit into the future. Let's have some foresight. Do you have any plans, as it were, for this COVID-19 afterwards? You know, how we recover, any COVID-19 recovery plans, anything of that nature?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the way I look at the recovery is that it can't just be the government that's getting us out of this.
Mhm.
It's going to take private investment, small businesses, and government, and everybody in the community coming together and having a seat at the table. Much like with the teachers, school teachers, and parents not having a seat at
Yes.
the table with the reentry or the reopen committee, right? It's going to take everybody and representation from everybody at that table. So that's what I would do. You know, people ask me what my plan is. Well, my plan is to continue is to communicate with ANCs, community leaders, nonprofit leaders, church leaders, bring people to say, oh, yes, I have my ideas, I have my thoughts, I have my opinions. But it's important that to understand that we live in an extremely diverse city, and every ward is different. And every neighborhood in that ward is different. And we need to narrow down to what's going to work for the recovery process in those neighborhoods.
Definitely. And this is a much lighter question. What is it that you love about the city? What is it that you love about Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, I'm a city person. I love the noises of the city. Right now, this quietness is just driving me crazy. I like the sirens. I like the people. I like the noise at restaurants. I love the city. But, you know, more importantly, I love the diversity of the city, and not just black and brown as everybody talks about, but the diversity across the board. As many of those communities I spoke about before earlier in this not being served equally. I love having all of those folks around me. And I love being a part of that, right in the middle of that, to where, you know, when it comes to thought process and opinions, I can count on those around me that I am educated and I have that experience at the table.
Definitely. So hopefully by the general election in November, things would be, I don't know, things would be easier. Hopefully, we hope so. But if not, you know, voting is still very, very important. So do you want to tell our viewers how they can go out and vote and all of that?
Yeah, so, you know, right now we're going through that. And some of the work that I've done to help this process out, I've been out to Fort Lincoln, gathering up from the many senior buildings out there, applications, dropping off blank applications, picking them up, hand delivering them down to the Board of Election to make sure that those communities that don't have the availability to either technology or to get out has the ability to still vote, because their vote counts, and equally so. And so I want to make sure everybody has a say so in that, whether or not, you know, in the primary where I'm not on the ballot, or in the general when I'm on the ballot, I want to make sure that I get as many applications as possible out to people. And that's definitely something my team will work to do, because like you said, it's unknown where we're going to be come November. And it's better that people are prepared before we get there. And we don't find out October 31st that all of a sudden we're going to mail in ballots and people aren't prepared.
There we go. I agree with that, definitely. Well, let everyone know how our viewers can support your campaign, how they can be engaged with your campaign, how they can follow you and keep up with you.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I may just finish off by saying, you know, we really need somebody that is a fighter and mission-driven, collaborative leader, ready and willing to fight for the entire community, not just part of it, not just a few, whichever ward we're talking about, and is not owned and bought by those already in power that are doing endorsements, or those of special interest groups. They're not owned by them. Endorsements are great. You know, it says a lot, but I don't want to be owned by them. You know, with 3 decades of service in the military, serving this country, serving as a college professor and administrator, and as a businessman, I know I have what it takes to fight on behalf of the residents of this city. This isn't a luxurious or easy job, city council, but it is about improving our community for all Washingtonians so that the system works for everybody, and not just those few. You know, we need somebody who's committed, and I will promise those who get behind me and support me, I promise that they will have my commitment to that fight and to that mission. You know, just like I did when I served in the Army, or when I led the future of tomorrow in the classroom, I'll have that same commitment and dedication. So I'm going to work for them and the voters only, and nobody else. So to get in contact and stay in touch and get involved in the campaign, you can go to www.murphreedc.com. It's MURPHREEDC.com. Feel free to reach out with any questions. If you want to set up a Zoom meeting, definitely could do that, and have, you know, multiple people on a Zoom and answer any questions. Softball, hardball, you throw them at me, and I'll answer them to where my heart and my mind goes with it.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Rick. It was a lovely chat.
Yes, thank you so much.
Of course. And to our viewers, thank you for watching.